All right, all right. All right, welcome, womanpreneurs. Welcome to the classroom. Welcome to the classroom. I am your host, Andrea Boulder. Super excited to be here with you on this Friday. Sorry for the late start. Zoom was doing something a little funny, and I wanted to make sure that we were streaming live, that this was getting recorded. So I am going to wait just a couple of more seconds for all of the people who are still hopping on. I'm still letting a couple of people into the Facebook group so that they don't miss it. And while we are waiting, go ahead and just drop where you're from, where you are watching from. I always like to know where my womenpreneurs are located, what area of the globe, what region of the globe you are chiming in from. If you're catching this on the replay, you can also drop where you are calling in from as well, or watching from. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I wanna be mindful of your time. And just wanted to double check to make sure it was streaming into the Facebook group fine. And we're gonna go ahead and we are going to get started. We are gonna get started. So we are in the Womanpreneur Facebook group, the community. It's time for the classroom. This is the new free live training that I am giving every single Friday. I'm going live inside of the Womanpreneur Facebook group to give you a few tidbits on how you can better build your business, be more mindful of the strategies and the content that you're creating, the strategies that you're using, how to implement those in the right way, all with the focus of making sure that we're doing it in balance, making sure that we are not leaning or falling prey to the hustle and bustle of it all, but making sure that we're being super smart and intentional about what it is that we need to do to hit our passive income goals. So inside of my community, on my side of the tracks, I focus on passive income, I focus on time freedom, and I focus on mindset. Those are the three things that I know that if you can master those three things, then you will have a wildly successful business. Okay, mindset, learning how to create multiple passive income streams in your business so that you can make your time and your money work for you, so that you are making money from your gifts, from your intelligence, from your intellectual property, from your know-how, packaging that up and learning how to sell it in a way that does not require you to be actively marketing or showing up every step of the way in order for a sale to transpire. Okay, that's what passive income is, passive. So does passive income take work? Absolutely. I'm not saying that you can create something, put it out on the internet, and then, you know, there will be a windfall of income and opportunities, and your business is just going to grow like wildfire. It does not work that way. You do the work up front, you set up the systems, you set up the tools, you set up the resources, you create amazing and great content on the front end so that on the back end, you're able to drive traffic to your business in a way that's going to allow you to make money on autopilot. Okay, passive income. So if you are here with me live, please just say hello. Let me know that you're here. Tell me if how your day is going. Let me know if you are new to this world. You can drop a 1. This is my first time. If this is your first time, so that I can welcome and acknowledge you. We've had quite a few people join the Facebook group in the last couple of weeks, especially since I announced the launch of the classroom series. And like I said, we'll be doing this every single Friday, okay, God willing. So if you've been in this Facebook group for a while, or if this is your first time, welcome back. So glad that you are here with me. Okay, this is really casual, informal. It is a way for me to give back and sow into my community and to give to you. You can ask questions, type them in the chat, and when I'm done, I'll go back and I'll try to answer some of those questions. I won't necessarily stop the flow of what it is that I'm saying or teaching to check the comments unless I ask a specific comments, you know, in a manner where I need your direct feedback like right away. Okay, so just keep that in mind. If you have to hop off and you have a question, post your question. I will get to it. Okay, or you can shoot me a DM or an email. All right. So inside of the classroom, there's going to be something for everyone. I'm going to touch on a lot of different topics. I may talk about, you know, money mindset one day, one Friday, and then the next day or next Friday, next week, we'll be talking about how to balance your business with being a mom. We may talk about how to build your systems or what needs to go on a sales page. So like I said, we prioritize mindset, okay, especially money mindset. We prioritize passive income. We prioritize making sure that you are creating a business that's going to allow you to create time freedom so that you can actually enjoy the rewards and all of the things that you're working so hard for. So learning how to monetize your gifts into money-making content, such as online courses, coaching programs, membership sites. Okay, you're going to get it all in here. So the energy or vibe of being a womanpreneur is this. So just in case you guys don't know what it means to be a womanpreneur, I wanted to explain that to the community, just in case you didn't know. Okay, it's not just woman and entrepreneur put together and you get womanpreneur. It's a little deeper than that. So I just want you to know and understand the essence of what it means to be a womanpreneur, what it means to be a part of this community, just in case you weren't quite sure. So being a womanpreneur, what does it mean? It means this, and it's something that I actually put inside of all of my Womanpreneur profit planners. I put inside of the Womanpreneur University membership site, and it is a manifesto, and it's something that you can say and you can see and you can repeat, okay, if you like, every single day. I say it every single day, and I'm going to repeat it to you, and then I'll post it so that you can have a shot or a little picture of it as well. So you can download it, you can print it off, you can do whatever you want to do, add it as a screensaver so that you'll have it. Okay, so this is what it means to be a womanpreneur. I am a woman, a winner, a risk taker, and a ride or die gold digger. I'm not on a mission, I am the mission. Every action I take is a divine reflection of the multi-passionate being I was born to be. I embrace opportunity, encourage success, and empower other women by leading not with just my voice, but with action. No one will outwork me. I'll never back down from a challenge, and I won't settle for anything less than I deserve. Family, freedom, success, recognition, money, fame. If it is what I desire, it is what I will have. Not because I am entitled, but because I am empowered to live up to my standards of excellence, no matter who tells me otherwise. I know who I am. I am a superwoman. I know what I want. Building an empire, getting paid to do what I love and doing it my way. Unapologetic, uncompromising, unwavering, unemployable. I am an entrepreneur. I am a brand. I am a business. I am a womanpreneur. Watch me win. This is the essence of the women that I serve and that I am calling in to help build the business of their dreams and the life of their dreams. These are the type of women I am looking to fill this community with. These are the type of women I want to work with and serve and help grow. So hopefully, if you are here on this live today, you are that type of woman and you are showing up in this space because you want to have a bigger role in what you do with your life, what you do with your time and your time freedom and how much income that you get to call in to your life. It's not dictated by a boss or by a company or by a corporation or by anyone else. It's dictated by you, and you have control over how much or how many zeros are on that paycheck and how much fun you get to have, how many days you get to have off, who you get to work with, what clients you get to serve and help and lead and guide, okay? What type of business you get to build, whether that is building a business that requires you to show up 7 days a week or 1 day a week, okay? What a time it is to be a woman in business online. There's so many different possibilities, so many different opportunities. It's just up to you to be willing to go out there and catch what it is that you want. Okay, it's a great time to take those gifts that you had that you've been kind of pushing to the side or deprioritizing. Okay, because you have a family, you have kids, you have people who need you, and you've kind of said, okay, well, I'll put my dreams to the side. Now is the time for you to rekindle, rebirth those dreams, bring them back to life, breathe life into them, so that you can start creating the life that you want, having the feelings and experiences and moments that you want to have for yourself, okay? And it's amazing to be able to share your gifts and your talents and to share them in a way that not only helps others create transformation in their lives, but in a way that gets you everything that you want to. It's okay to raise your hand and say, I want that. I want this type of life. I want to drive this type of car. I want to have this type of house. I want to marry this type of man or person or have this type of partner. I want to have this much money in my bank account. I want to be able to buy X, Y, and Z whenever I want to buy it. It's okay for me to have real estate and have a portfolio and have stocks and be rich and wealthy and not feel bad about it, okay? So I want to serve and elevate women like you that know what you want and are willing to put it all on the line to build a business that's going to allow you to get there. So that is what being a womanpreneur means. So I wanted to make sure that everybody knew exactly what it means to be in this space, what we are striving for, what we are leaning into, and the type of woman that you will need to become in order to get the things that you want, okay? I created the classroom so that we could talk candidly about our dreams and talk about the money that we want to make and be honest about what it's going to take to get there. It's not easy. It's hard. It's difficult. It takes sacrifice at times. It takes compromise. It takes living out of your own self in order to become the person that you know that you need to be, but you in your mind are feeling a little scared or a little resistance for whatever reasons. There's a lot of reasons that may be. A lot of those reasons we'll talk about inside of the classroom, but it's about becoming, right? And not being afraid to talk about those things in a place that's going to allow you to get the support that you need and encouragement that you need to get there. Okay, it's about learning how to navigate the ups and downs of being a CEO, a boss. It's about learning how to deal with the emotional side of pushing yourself beyond and into new places that you've never seen or been before. It's about leaning into or learning how to navigate all of the different things that business owners do from being on Instagram to coaching to behind the scenes stuff like customer service. We wear many hats. How to navigate building a business that most people don't get or understand. You tell them, you know, what you do, and they're like, I don't really get it. You can make money that way? Is that what you really do? Because they're so attached to the traditional way of making money by being an employee. A lot of people don't get being what it means to be an entrepreneur, okay, or to build a business online, leveraging social media and the internet and how you can possibly monetize that. Okay, it's about navigating when your family doesn't understand or support what it is that you do. And they say, you know, hey girl, you need to get a real job. Okay, this is my real job. This is what I do. This is who I am. And I want you to own that. So let me know in the comments if this is resonating with you right now. Okay, so I'm really beyond excited to not only, you know, pave my way or my own way, but I'm really excited for you to come into my world and to help or be able to help you pave your own way to passive income and time and financial freedom. I am super excited to help you become a better coach, a better leader, better content creator, a better woman, and to help you to really tap into that energy and that essence of who you need to become in order to start living out your best life. Okay, so speaking of energy and essence, okay, I want to talk to you about the one thing that I think can really change the game in your business and help you create this quantum leap, okay, in a very, very powerful way. So raise your hand if you feel like you're showing up online, but for some reason it's just not hitting, something is off, you're not getting the engagement, you're posting consistently, but it's not converting into sales or into clients or into deals or into the numbers, okay, the income that you wanted or hoped or wished for. And you know your content is good, you know your products are good, but something is just off. You're giving all the best tips, you're providing tips and hacks and everything you're sharing this value with your community and with the intent of growing your audience, growing your community, calling in your dream client. But you know, there's just something that you can't quite put your finger on that's causing your content to fall short or be a little bit off. Okay. So if this is you, it's okay. But I'm willing to bet that the one thing that's kind of keeping your content from having the impact that it needs to have, from reaching the people that it needs to reach, is your authenticity. And in many cases, the lack of it in your content. Okay. So I want to make this really, really, really clear, really clear. Authenticity is key to creating content that really resonates with your audience. You can feel people's energy. You ever been somewhere and somebody walks into the room and everybody just looks and it like there's literally a shift in the room. The energy has shifted. Okay, people can feel your energy through a reel that they watch on their phone. You can feel someone's essence through the words that they write in a blog post. You can hear people's energy, right, through the words that they speak on a podcast. Okay, content converts best when there is human connection and when there is energy behind the content that you're putting out, when people can feel that piece of content because they know that it's coming from you. When the person behind the content almost like transcends the content itself. That's why I can put out a piece of content that is the exact same as, you know, someone else. and get two very different reactions, get two very different types of engagement, call in two very different types of people. Because the variable is the person behind the content and how they deliver that content. Okay. And when the person behind the content transcends the content itself, that's real. It's hard to fake and it's hard to duplicate. But in the end, that is what gets you the results. So no matter what content that you put out, you are the secret sauce. It's you, right? So sure, it's easy to recreate all of these, all of the TikTok trends or the lip syncing videos, or adopt someone else's content strategy or marketing strategy or a promotion, social media strategy, digital strategy, whatever you want to call it, for your own. But if the people you want to reach are not aligned with your energy and your confidence and your delivery and your tone and your language and your values and your morals, all the things that make you you, you're going to lose the sale before you even get the chance to say, buy my bleep, whatever, my X, Y, and Z. Okay. Personal connection is really what drives conversions. It's what drives sales. It's what increases your influence and your impact. And it goes beyond trends. It goes beyond TikTok dances. It goes beyond the hype of social media. So the question of the day is, how do you create more authentic content that's going to allow you to skyrocket the growth that you want to see? So that's what we're going to dig into in today's class, in the classroom today. Okay. But before we get into all the how, we have to understand the what. What does authentic content mean? What does it mean to show up authentically? Okay. I'm going to make this really, really simple. I like to break things down, keep it simple. To be authentic means to show up each and every day as your one and only true self. You show up as you. It means being real. It means being raw. It means being unfiltered. It means being pure and honest and organic and transparent, and not apologizing for being who you are, even in the face of, social media pressure trying to say that you should show up or look a certain way. Or dress a certain way, or have your makeup done a certain way, or your hair done a certain way. So when you create content, whether it's for a social media post, for an online course, for a YouTube video, for when you're going to get up and talk on stage, whatever it is, you are creating content from a place that is untainted by outside influence, untainted by other people's opinion. You do you. If you want to make a noticeable difference in your industry, in your niche, you have to be willing to create content without having any one thing or model or blueprint to follow. Because you're the blueprint, you're the model, you're the thing to follow. And most people are scared to do this. I know I was. And for a long time, I always tried to fit in who I was into someone else's mold or model. And it never worked, or it would work minimally or for a short period of time, because it's not sustainable to be someone else, or to be, we talked about this in the last classroom, to be an imposter, right? Which is why there will always be more followers than there are leaders, because people are really afraid to just step out and bet on themselves, to stand on their own. Whether people love you or like you, or are indifferent. You have to be willing to take the good and the bad. Show up as you are. You can't please everybody. So why don't you just make yourself happy? Show up as you are, be true to who you are, and then you'll attract the people who are meant for you, right? So it's about breaking the blueprint. And I can make that a whole masterclass. But it's about becoming the blueprint instead, right? Of following someone else's formula or framework of who you should be in order to make money or get sales or monetize your own gift. The gift was given to you. So why would you deliver it in a way that someone else said, this is how you should, absolutely concrete in stone, this is how you should deliver it because that's how I delivered it and it worked for me. You got to figure out what works for you, what feels good to you, what isn't aligned with your personality and your quirks and how you like to work and how you like to build and how you like to grow. Okay, so there are key fundamental principles that are going to lead to success, but you always want to make sure that you're doing things in your own way. Okay, when I talked about in the manifesto, what it means to be an entrepreneur is about getting paid to do what I love and doing it in my own way. Okay, so it's very, very important. That's what authenticity means. Okay. Okay, so I know you may be thinking, okay, easier said than done. I've tried to show up authentically. People don't like me, or it's not resonating, or this or that, or I don't like how I look, or you know what, all these things that are keeping you from showing up authentically, whether it's fear of objection or rejection, whether it is fear of your friends who knew you from way back then and they see you putting out content, or you're showing up differently now, or you're speaking differently or talking in a more elevated way because you have evolved and you're afraid to embrace the new, better you, the more authentic you of who you are right now, because you're worried about what people from high school are going to say, or college, or coworkers that you worked with. Okay, so let's just break this down on how do we actually show up more authentically in our content. How does it translate? Being authentic, how do you infuse that into your content? Okay, so let's talk about that. Number one, you got to be vulnerable. If you want to connect with people, you have to be willing to show up imperfectly. I just mentioned that. You got to show up imperfectly. You got to show up with flaws. You got to show up sometimes when your makeup is not done and your lashes are not on, when you just got finished working out and you didn't have time to put on foundation like I did this morning, but I'm still showing up, right? It's about showing up, and if you're insecure about how you look or your nose or what you wear or all of these things that we say that we don't like about ourselves or that we feel should be different, that keep us from showing our face online, from going live, from creating lifestyle type content, because we've gained a few pounds. And we don't want people from high school to come drop on our feed and be like, oh, she used to be this, now she's, and all of those things get in our way. So you have to be willing to show up from a vulnerable place, even when you feel it's not perfect. or perfect for you. And a lot of times I tell you, people don't even care. Okay. Or the people who you think care, their opinion really doesn't matter. So there's something that's called the blemishing effect, where you tell people what your product does not do, or what your brand is not, or who as a person you are not. And it may seem counterintuitive because you only want it to, you only want to show up and be the perfect best self, the best representation of yourself at all times. You only want to give people the good. You only want to give people the positive things. But this negative information, this negative visual, okay, it actually can build trust and can make your product or your brand or your business or your person or persona seem more attractive. Why? Because it's more relatable. It's more real. You have to be willing to be confident not only in your success, but in your failures as well. And it's important to want to open up and share parts of your life, parts of your story, parts of your journey, and to be an open book. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to share everything. Open book does not mean, let me give you all my deep, darkest secrets. That's not what it means. You can still pick and choose how much you want to share. If you don't want to share your kids online, that's fine. If you don't want to share your husband online, that's fine. If you don't want to share, personal things that happen to you, you don't have to share everything. It's not about oversharing, but it's about letting people get the essence of who you are so that you're able to bring people into your world in a more real or relatable or personal way. So when you're building your business and you're teaching your clients or you're consulting or you're sharing, how you can help people, share the things that didn't work, share strategies that you tried that don't work, or when business is not going well and you're in a slump or you want to quit, or when you got rejected, or when you thought that you had a deal, but you didn't, or when you lost $100,000 or $50,000 or whatever it was on a bogus coach, or, whatever it is. You want to be able to share your stories, because being transparent, being vulnerable lets people know that you're human, that you make mistakes, that you're not perfect. People can't relate to perfect because it's an illusion of a milestone that they can never achieve. Just imagine trying to be perfect all the time. It's an unattainable goal because nobody on this earth is perfect. So you shouldn't feel that you have to show up as perfect either, or that you have to have perfect content, or that you don't make mistakes with your content or misspell words or get things wrong, or that 2 years ago you felt one way and now you feel different. You're allowed to grow and change and evolve. Okay. This is why stories sell. This is why documenting your process helps you to connect with the people in your community, because they get to see your growth as they're growing as well. And then you can be the example. They're following your lead into, it didn't all work out, exactly how she planned, but she was able to figure it out by doing X, Y, and Z. And now she's able to achieve, what she has now. And helping people to digest or consume the process allows you to put a face behind the strategy, a face behind your signature blueprint, a face behind what you are teaching in your coaching programs or in your online course. Right? And people want to hear the journey, the transformation, and the overcoming of it all. And if you can't communicate your challenges, if you can't communicate your failures, if you can't say, I effed up, or I shouldn't have did this, or this worked, but this didn't, and you don't share what you actually had to overcome along the way, whether that's being unsupportive friends, unsupportive husband, not having enough money at times to buy the tools that you needed, hitting plateaus, having a real successful year one year, but then falling back to nothing the next. And if you can't communicate your challenges, how and what you had to overcome along the way, how do you expect people to really believe your success? So you have to share the good, the bad, and the ugly, which leads me to the next point. You have to be relatable. As a coach, your job is to showcase your authority and your expertise. Okay, that ultimately people want to know that you can deliver the goods, that you have the systems, the strategy, the know-how to help them get to where they want to be. But you also want to make sure that you're speaking to your audience in a way that makes them feel, oh yeah, she gets me. I understand exactly where she's coming from. Oh, that happened to me too. So being relatable means being transparent and vulnerable, which we just talked about. It also means being human, sharing the behind the scenes of it all, letting people into your life. It means posting lifestyle pictures on Instagram, showing people what you eat every once in a while, showing people where you go, how you live, what you wear, how you work behind the scenes of your business. It's about being human, letting people into your life. It means showing firsthand how you are working with and serving your community to get the transformation that they need. That is why testimonials and client stories are important to share, because not everyone is going to necessarily relate to you, but they may relate to the woman that you helped. They may share the same story as the person that you or the people that you serve in your business. And that is where the personal connection comes into play. It may be an indirect connection through a story that you shared of someone that you helped. So don't always feel as if the story has to come from you. It could come from a client or a partner, a business partner, somebody that you worked with. Okay, so number 3, you want to use your own voice. It is easy to get caught up in thinking we are supposed to show up in a certain way to succeed, or use certain words, or form our mouth in a certain way, or share dictionary type words where you got to look stuff up in order to seem smart. As you create authentic content, you'll want to, number 1, be conscious of your own voice, how you talk on a regular basis, how you talk to your mom, to your friends, to your girlfriends, to the guy down the street, your neighbor, how you talk in everyday real life. And then number 2, you want to make sure that you're actually communicating and marketing and building a brand in that voice. Your voice, your brand voice, will have a very distinct personality that people can easily, distinguish as, oh, that came from Andrea. That came from, Oprah. That came from Marie Forleo. That came from whoever, XYZ. That came from you. Okay, have you ever read something and people say, oh my gosh, that sounds like XYZ? Or better yet, have you ever had someone tell you that they were reading something or watching a video, or they heard someone over talking or speak, they heard a conversation that someone else was having and they're recounting a story, and it made them instantly think of you? Okay, having a distinct voice and perspective allows people to identify who you are or think about you, even if what people are reading or watching or hearing is not directly coming from you. It's like you can read something or read an Instagram quote and it instantly makes you think of somebody else. Oh, this is something that X, Y, and Z would have said. So imagine that, let me give you an example. Imagine that you went to a party and you're chit-chatting with all the guests. One person stands out, okay, and all the people that are in the room, there's this one person that, you know, you leave the party and like you remember that person because they were, you know, they told a great story or they had a distinctive laugh or there was something quirky about them that's helped them to stand out, to be noticeable. It may have been something that they said or the way that they said it was unique or distinctive. Okay, it could have been the flow of their words, the language that they used, okay, or just their personality, how they told the story, and they were moving their hands and they were doing, you know, flips or whatever, okay, all combined to make them memorable, okay? When you're retelling this story, you know, you go home, you're like, tell your husband, I met this girl and she was like X, Y, and Z. You immediately think about that person. If someone else is telling a story about someone, you would immediately think of that person as well. So this is what finding and using your voice online is all about, okay? Or in your content, infusing your personality into your content is all about. And this is what it can do for you, is that if you're saying a certain term or a phrase or a catchphrase that you always use, someone who does this really well is Tabitha Brown. Okay, she has these very distinct signature catchphrases. If you've ever heard her say, you know, that's your business, or like so like that. What she says, these are like trademark now, but she says these things in a certain way in her own voice that no matter whether she says it or someone else says it, you automatically think of her. When you see it on a t-shirt, you automatically think of her. When you see her, one of her sayings on a cup or on a t-shirt in, you know, in Target, she's in Target now, because she's built up this amazing community and brand and following. But it started off being things that she just always said naturally, that she incorporated and included in her content. When she did her live, she would always say, like so like that. But that's your business. Okay, so when she incorporated these things into her content, when people hear those things now, they automatically think of her. So you want to think in the same way. So find what makes your voice or your perspective different or more compelling, and use that to stand out, to be distinctive in your industry, in your niche. If you try to create content that uses someone else's voice, it will come off as inauthentic. And that is the last thing that we want. So use your own language. Don't be afraid to communicate to customers as if you're talking to your friend. Be relatable. Using big fancy words doesn't show that you know more or that you're smarter. Okay, unless you're in the medical industry and there's certain terms that you know that your medical industry peoples are going to know and understand, that type of language doesn't translate to regular everyday people if that's who you're trying to connect with. So just be, my point is, be conscious of using your own voice. Okay. So number 4, we want to make sure that you are making yourself easily accessible. If you're creating authentic content, your prospects and clients will want more of that content because it's good, because it helped them take action and get a result. So it's important to make it easy for people to get more of you. That's why it's important to have landing pages or freebies or an email list or a Facebook group like this, where you can bring people together, where they can get more of who it is that you are. So you can continue to build relationships and grow and nurture, and people can get to know you a little bit or a lot more better. Okay, it doesn't mean making yourself available to people who only want to pick your brain for free, but it does mean making yourself available to answer questions, whether that's, via an email or DMs or inside of a Facebook group, knowing that it can lead to someone taking the next step with you. Okay, you always want to have an open door policy. Number 5, and this is the last point that I will make, is to be consistent. Whether you are releasing content daily, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, stick to a schedule. Be consistent. And to take it one step further, be consistent with how you show up. Be consistent with your message. Be consistent with your language. Be consistent with your tone. Be consistent with how you dress and show up. Okay? When you're consistent, when you have and more specifically, when you have a schedule, when people know I can expect to deliver or to get content from Andrea every single day. When you're consistent, that helps people find and consume your content more easily. When people feel like they can count on you to show up for them, they're going to show up for you. When people know that every Monday morning at 9 a.m. you go live on Instagram, they begin to anticipate being able to hop on because they know that they can trust that you're going to be there and that you're going to deliver to them a steady and reliable source, or be a reliable source of motivation, information, value, inspiration, okay, entertainment, whatever it is that you're providing. They know that Monday morning, 9 a.m., as they're getting ready to drop the kids off to school and go into work, they can turn on Instagram and they know that you're going to be a valuable source of whatever is feeding their soul or whatever it is that they need at that moment. Okay? So if you want consistent sales, you have to be a consistent source of value for your community. Okay? So those were the 5 things. So let's just go over those really quickly before we close today. Being transparent, being vulnerable is extremely important to creating personal connections, and personal connections are going to increase the size of your paychecks. When you're being relatable, that's going to allow you to call in and align with your ideal customers, your clients, future business partners, and collaborators. Using your own voice allows people to find you. Even when you're putting out the same type of content as a million other people, even when you are one of a million coaches, designers, trainers, whatever, in your industry, owning your voice, using your voice, honoring your voice is what will make you distinctive. It's going to make you stand out. It's going to make you identifiable, and it's going to make you memorable. Okay. We also learned that it's super important to open up your virtual doors to invite opportunity and conversation and clarity. Sometimes people just want to be able to ask you a question that they may already have the answer to, but they just may want to see if you're going to respond, because most people do not. That's why in my welcome emails, I ask a question and I ask people, what is your biggest challenge? Or if you could imagine your ideal life, what does that look like? And when they respond, I answer. When they send an email, I'll answer it personally, because a lot of times they're just looking for someone to recognize them, to acknowledge them, to say, I see you. Okay. And then lastly, we talked about being consistent, which we should all know that we need to do, because I preach consistency all the time. Be consistent. The people who win in the end are those who are most consistent. Okay. We all know what we need to do. Now it's, how do we follow up on what we need to do? How do we make sure that we are setting schedules, that we're being productive, that we are creating a lifestyle and have the tools and support around us that are going to allow us to execute the things that we need to execute in order to get the things and the results that we want. Okay. So those are the 5 things. And I hope that this was informative, that this was helpful, that it gave you a little bit more clarity about how to show up a little bit more, or not, I'm not going to say a little bit more, how to show up more authentically in your business. Now, the execution of this is, building a brand and finding your voice and building a story. A lot of those things, there's more to that. Okay. Which I teach inside of Womanpreneur University. But this is the gist. If you want to make a change and you're trying to figure out, how do I create more engagement and personal connection? Start here. Okay. Start here. So hopefully that helped. Hopefully that was something, or these were steps or tips that you can begin using and incorporating into your business today. Lori said, yes, consistency is key. Decide on your schedule and stick to it. Yes, this is a 360 view of entrepreneurship. Absolutely. Lakeisha said facts. Absolutely. These are the things that people don't spend lessons teaching you inside of their online course, but these are the things that will always help you to take that next step in your business. These are the things that are going to take you from $1,000 a month to $10,000 a month, $10,000 a month to $100,000 a month. Okay, these are the intangible things that people don't talk about because they're not concepts. They're not hypothetical. They are things that are unique to each of us as individuals. And then we take them and we have to use them in a way that is best suited for us. Lori said, you are always dropping diamonds. I'm glad you guys are getting value out of this. Okay, these are the things that I wish someone had told me, because I'm the type, I follow the strategy. Okay, and I'm like, okay, well, if I do X, Y, and Z, if I follow the framework, then I should get, I'm very analytical. So when 1 and 1 is not adding up to 2, you have to figure out, well, why did it work for this person? Why did it work for my coach or my mentor or the person who was training me on this, but it's not working for me? And these are the small, intangible things, the behind the scenes things, the things that you don't think to teach your students as coaches or consultants, because it's not the strategy, it's not the principle, it's not the concrete concept, right? But these are the things that fill in the gaps, the read in between the line types of things that you really need to be at that next level to get unstuck. Okay, so before we go, it's 12 o'clock. I don't want to keep you super long. Before we go, I want to do a quick goal call. Drop one thing in the chat that you want to call into your business or into your life. I am big on manifestation, onto claiming, you know, the victory that you want to create in your business, in your life, in your family's life. So before we go, if you want to, some things you may want to call in are personal, but if you want to, go ahead and drop in the post what you want to call in going into next week. I'm calling in some creativity. I need to get my creative juices flowing. I am behind on getting my annual Womanpreneur Profit Planner put together. And I'm having a creativity block. So I am calling in creativity in the upcoming week so that I can start formulating and getting that done. That is a huge part of the Womanpreneur product suite. And I want to make sure that it is amazing and that it is, you know, better than last year's. Lakeisha said, me too, creativity, absolutely. Okay. And whether that's creativity in, you know, how am I going to come up with new ideas for this reel, or how am I going to come up with ideas for how I want my sales page to look, whatever that is. She said, okay, exactly. Calling in, thank you for being specific. Calling in creativity for wellness, for a wellness summit I am planning on hosting in December. Absolutely. So we are claiming that Lakeisha gets that creativity that she needs for her wellness summit, which I know will come together and be amazing. Okay, so if you are catching this on the replay, you can go ahead and post as well. I want to acknowledge what you are calling in the upcoming week. If that's more money, calling in more help, more support, calling in more influence, whatever it is, be specific. And maybe there's someone in the community that will be able to actually help you or guide you or give you some tips or advice on how to make that a reality. Okay, so call in what you want to see manifest in your life, claim it for yourself, then go make it happen. Okay, make it happen, Captain. All right, I hope that you enjoyed the classroom this week. We'll be back same time, same place next week. Okay, take care, you guys.